Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Brian. Um, I know it's been a while since I made any sort of videos, and um, it's probably also been a while since you've heard my voice since I haven't done commentary in a very long time. But today, I decided to make this video right here. This is a league racing video, which in itself I haven't done in more than a year. And to provide some context on the video itself, this is a league race in Assetto Friends AF Asia around the Chang International circuit in Thailand with the Honda Civic, as you can see here. Um, I was a reserve driver, and the thing with that is that um, I couldn't actually join the server up until the admin says that I could join to wait for the main drivers whether they would join or not, which meant that I had to wait around 10 minutes, which made me miss the practice session. And I was supposed to join mid quali, I guess. Um, the problem is that when I tried to join, I had a checksum error, supposedly, I think, which meant that I have to reinstall the mods which I use. And unfortunately, the site itself, ShareMods, has put a limit on the download speed if you don't use premium. So yeah, I was panicking a bit, but fortunately, I actually backed up all my mods on an external hard drive, and as a last resort, I was quite desperate. I used that to reinstall the mods and was able to come just in clutch, like around a minute before the quali ends, which unfortunately meant that I couldn't actually set the lap, which meant that obviously I start from last. And well, this video will just show the rest, I guess. So yeah, sit down, enjoy, and well, have fun, I guess. Alright, we are now on the starting grid. After lots of trial and error, I finally got everything working. Now, waiting for the lights. You can't see them since it's a replay and Assetto Corsa doesn't do things, but lights out and away we go, as you can see right here now. Into the first corner, not even into the first corner, there's a massive crash going out in front of us now. We made out two positions, now we are in 16th position, right behind Adrian Ravioli right here. We had a good run on him actually, we're gonna go down the inside of him, taking the toe of the car in front, excuse me. And as we go into the braking point, now I choose to go a bit conservative on the first lap since I don't want to screw anything up. It's still the first lap. No need to be overly aggressive. As you can see right there, a guy goes wide. Martin Bundy, I think, just went wide. We take as much tow from him as possible. Now, still behind Adrian. Trying to keep the car intact. Obviously, first lap right here. We are now at 15th position, I believe. As we go slowly down to the stern, again braking way earlier than I should, just to be extra safe. We still caught out to the back of him. Now moving into this corner, again slowly but surely. And now we have a really good run on him. We're gonna go down the inside as there's a massive crash in front of us involving three cars, and there's a yeah, we'll just pretend that thing doesn't exist. Family friendly show as he turns into us actually, and fortunately nothing um, bad happens because of that. There's no spits, no big damage or anything. I tried to go to the inside as much as possible, but now putting all the brake bites to the front, braking fast, braking hard into the last corner as we finish a lap around the circuit, and then that is lap 1. Now we are at lap 2, going to this first corner again. Being careful not to lock up the rear since there's very little weight on this car, all the weight's on the front, and we take that quite nicely actually. Now again, um, yeah, as we start last from there, we made up already a lot of positions. Now again, braking down to the stern right here. Being a bit careful, but as you can see, I lock up the rears a bit right here. Trying to keep it under control with a bit of throttle. Now, right behind, I redacted right here. And as you can see, on the slipstream, we get a nice run out of him. Now, into the left-hander, fast left-hander. Going down one gear, and we make the move stick right there. That's a bit of an aggressive move as I try to find my the nice line between aggressive and conservative, and that seems to work out nicely as we are now behind Polybius, the Turkish driver. Excuse me. Now going onto the stern again, going slowly, making sure not to run wide right there. Now, taking this nice and steadily. You want to keep to the inside, but actually run quite wide right here, which could give an opportunity to Aerodactyl to close the gap a bit, but it seems like it's pretty damn constant right now. Now moving all the brake bias into the front for this corner. Again, making sure not to lock up the rears. As Polybius actually runs wide right there. And now Miguel actually spins Fael around. I don't know what the hell just happened right there. But we pass one, and now we've got a better run. Better Miguel Costa. Again, I want to get past these guys as quickly as possible as I think I have more pace than them. And now we've gone past Miguel Costa. Again, so we are now at P6, I believe. Now we're catching up to Kano. Also, the leaderboard and real-time boards are just a bit broken because AC. And now we break in this corner again, slowly but surely. As we got hit from behind, we put as much throttle as possible right there to catch the car since it's a front-wheel drive car. Again, I don't really know what just happened right there, but we make the move stick. We are catching Kano, who's 5 seconds ahead right now. Again, we've got to make some ground as quickly as possible right here. Since, I believe I have a bit more pace than these guys behind. No disrespect or anything, but yeah, I did practice a bit, I guess, too hard for this race since I want to make sure I don't embarrass myself after that disaster on Asset 3 over some Monza. We ran a bit wide and they're losing a bit of time, allowing Miguel to catch up a bit. But again, we take this corner nicely as Miguel runs a bit wide and we create a nice gap. Now again, going to this sequence. You want to stay flat out for this, taking it as straight as possible to make sure you don't scrub off too much speed. And now putting all the brake bias to the front again, 76% to the front will be exact. Now turning into this corner again, powering out as quickly as possible to get a good run on this back straight. So yeah, we are now at lap 4 actually, as we run a little bit wide right there, locking up the rears of the car. As you can see, it's quite easy to lock it up. Lots of people actually move the brake bias a lot to the front. For me, actually, I didn't move it a lot to the front since it might wear down the tires. As I actually forgot, I think, to change the brake bias right for that corner. I lock up, almost spinning the car. Fortunately, it's front wheel drive. As behind us, there's a massive crash right there involving Colin Louis and a few other cars right there. But fortunately, we're not on that group, and that's actually given us the advantage. We've now opened up a 2.3 second gap to Miguel Costa, which is really good. Now our job is just to focus in front, trying to catch Cano on who's now at P5, I believe. Now taking this turn nice and smoothly. Actually brake a bit too early right there for the opening, and I let off the throttle a bit too late for this one. But still, just keeping it on the track. That's the key right here, since I really just don't want to DNF again or do something stupid. Now again, taking it nice and smoothly. This is my, I think, first league race, proper league race back. I did a few weekly races with the guys at Assetto Friends, but this, I guess, my first official return to league racing. Not really a return, but just a reserve for now. We're braking again, making sure you don't lock up the rears. And here we go, going out nice and smoothly. Again, about the conversation earlier, why I don't put a lot of brake bites on the fronts is because I don't really want to wear out the front tires too much. Since it's a front wheel drive car, the front does majority of the work, you know, the power, steering, and the majority of the braking as well. So I don't really want to wear it down all too much. That's why I put a bit more brake bites to the rear compared to the other guys. And to combat this, I made the rake of the car a little bit more balanced. But still, it's very difficult. As you can see, I locked up the rears again, but this time it didn't affect me too much. And yeah, so now skipping ahead a few laps, as I said before, professional editing. Now we've caught up 2 seconds to Kano, who I think is slowing down a bit, probably worn tires or something. Now we're around 3 seconds behind Kano. 2 seconds actually. He seemed to lost time a bit in that corner, and he gains it back on the exit. But yeah, we've been getting on Kano a bit for P4 right here actually, as I think a guy above us has pitted or something. I'm not really sure, but we're now going into this corner and nice and smoothly going top the third for this. Again, trying to get the traction out of here to get the run for the back straight right here. Um, as for the, I guess, the championship, I'm not really involved in this since I'm just a reserve driver. So yeah. Um, Currently it's led by the guy who's leading the race. This gamer tags whatever. That's his actual gamer tag, by the way. And yeah, he's crazy fast, so no chance of catching him. Now my target's just to P4 right here, catching Kano, who have been slowly but surely reeling in. As we come near the pit window, or excuse me, I think we're already on the pit window. The pit window is already open, but I decided to pit a bit later to have fresher tires at the end. Even though actually I didn't end up changing tires because turns out people are not changing their tires and it's just a waste of time on the pits. So yeah, essentially I decided to go a bit longer to other than to have fresher tires obviously is just to avoid traffic since pitting too early actually a few people have said on Discord that it's a bit of a mistake since there's a big traffic jam behind. So yeah, just holding it out a little bit right here. Just making sure that I pull out consistent laps until the end of the race. As now the gap to Kano is under the 3 seconds right there. As we go out of the corner now, under 3 seconds again. Sorry. As Kano might be looking to pit right now, either to change tires or just to refuel, as he does go into the pits in this lap, I think. Yep, he does go into the pits. And now we're just gonna put as good of a laps as possible so we could have a chance at overcutting Kano. Now again, the gap to the car behind, which is Fikri, is around 3-ish seconds, but he's catching up a bit actually as he drops back a bit again. But yeah, that's also a big concern of me. The cars ahead are, well, at this point in time at least, still not a big concern for me since they're quite far away, as Takuma is around. Alright, as now we are around about where we're about to pit. Right now we're at lap 10, halfway throughout the race. As in the pits we'll just refuel, no need to change the tires since I saw that my tires are still in good condition and people more likely are not going to change the tires. That's why I just decided to refuel. As you can't see it right now, but I'm fiddling a bit with the pit settings, making sure I pick the right strategy. Now we go to the pits. It's a bit of a tricky pit entry, this one. As you can see, you gotta spot the braking and make sure that you don't run too wide. As I run a little bit too wide right there, but we didn't lose too much time into there. Slow down for the pit entry. Now we go into the pit box as I almost missed it. and fortunately we managed to make it into the pits with no major problems. Now refueling the car, it's gonna take a bit, and now we're off again. We don't get held up by Polybius since it's not F1 where you can take control of your own car in the pits. And now we're going out as a few guys go past us right there, but it's not really too big of a deal. The crucial gap is to Kano, which I think either stayed constant or actually increased a little bit right there. It's about 8-ish seconds. Meanwhile, it was around 3 seconds actually before we pitted, so we did a bit of mistake right there on the strategy. And I can confirm that after the race, I did do a small mistake as we lock up a bit there, but doesn't really matter. Yeah, I did a small mistake since I actually went too conservative. I put a little bit too much fuel since I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to make it to the line to finish the race with too little fuel. So yeah, a bit of a mistake from me right there. I put around 2 liters too much fuel, which definitely did take a bit longer, make me take the pits a bit longer, which has resulted in the bigger gap right there to Kano. And yeah, that's a bit of a shame, of course, but we're gonna try our best still to close the gap. You can see that they're taking that corner nice and smoothly. Now again, keeping it to the inside. We run a bit wide right there. I don't think that's ideal, but hey ho, it's my first race back, so yeah. Now again, spotting the braking point, 76% brake bias as always. Again, actually we brake a bit too early, but turn it a bit too late, so it sort of mitigates the advantage that I could have gained by getting a better exit, but I didn't. So yeah, again, this turn can lock up the rears, which causes us to get a really bad exit actually into this corner. Okay, now as Kano overtakes the car in front of him, Fail, which actually haven't hasn't pitted yet. So yeah, it's probably best for us that we can pass him as quickly as possible, so we don't lose too much time to the guy who's behind us as well, Fikri, who actually hasn't pitted yet. So again, it's really crucial that we put out some good laps right here, as we run a little bit wide right there, not very ideal at all. So we brake also a little bit too early. Actually, we ended up taking it quite nicely. Then for this corner, I want to lift a little bit and try to take as much curb as possible, as I didn't do that to get a better exit out of this corner. Now again, braking throughout here. Again, a little bit of lockup on the rears, but it wasn't too much of my concern since the rear essentially in this car are just there to make it a car, to stabilize the car. It really doesn't do that much. It's a front wheel drive car, so I'm not too concerned about the rears wearing down, since it's not really used too much anyways. Now going into this corner, again running a little bit too wide there, carrying too much speed, which sacrifices the exit out into this corner. Again, now braking to this corner as Fikri actually comes out of the pits right now. Again, we actually get pretty decent exit, but just behind Fikri. So we must have lost quite a lot of time right there on the pits and on the laps, which I did. If I ironed out a bit of those mistakes, I might be able to actually undercut him, but he actually did the overcut on me, which is not ideal. Again, trying to get as close to him as possible, trying to get past him, as even though his tires are fresh off the pits with tire blankets, is still not quite the optimum temperature. So we're gonna try and get as close to him as possible, so we can mount the curves and then massacre it. It's not ideal, so we're on the air, but he actually goes a bit wide right there, which causes us to be able to close it. Now again, it's instrumental that we get all these corners right because we need to get past him ASAP right here to make sure that we maintain the position before. Now again, slowing down this corner. Again, taking a pretty nice line up there. But Fikri seems to have an equally nice run, so we couldn't really do much about it. I'm breaking into this corner. Again, making sure that I don't hit him as I missed the breaking point. As I actually lock up the rear set there, I don't really know what the hell just happened there. Just a slight loss of focus, making us lose a bit of time right there. Now, again, the first corner, making sure we take it nice and easy. We get a decent run out of there as we close in a little bit on Fikri. Now, again, with the slipstream, can we make this move stick up into this corner? Again, taking it nice and slowly as I miss the breaking point a little bit as I lock up again. So I hit the back of him, and obviously I apologize directly to him, and he says it's okay. But yeah, if anything, that's done more damage to us than to him, as we get a really awful exit as we're on the runoff right there, which is, even though it's asphalt, this slows down you a lot. As we run wide through that corner again, losing even more time. Now we brake a bit too early for this corner. It's just a bit of a disaster. We also damaged our front wing a little bit in that crash, so the car is a bit more understeery, but not too bad to the point where we need to go to the pits to fix the damage, but still less than ideal, definitely. As the gap now opens up to around 2 seconds, yeah, a disaster right there. We could have been net P6 as Fail actually hasn't pitted yet, so yeah, not ideal whatsoever. Yeah, so again, trying to keep my head down, trying to catch him as quickly as possible as we actually get a pretty good exit right there. But we couldn't quite capitalize on it since we're still far away from him. Alright, so again, the gap is still constant as we skip ahead. As we skip ahead now to the nearing the end of the race, the gap has remained quite constant with Fikri, around 2.5 2.4 seconds right now. And again, just a few more minutes left in the race as it's a 30-minute race, but it doesn't show it here. Um, yeah, to be honest, I'm really satisfied with this performance. We've gone from P20 all the way to P7, which could be P6 right here if Kano does a big mistake, but we run wide right there on the magnetic asphalt and it slows us down a bit. But yeah, I mean, we did some good overtakes, being aggressive when we needed and be conservative when necessary. But unfortunately, just a few mistakes here and there with the strategy and a bit with the driving as we had Fikri previously in the race. So yeah, a bit of a shame. Could have been a better result. Could have been P5 or P6. But still, I'm really happy in my first race back. After missing quali due to some technical difficulties, um, starting last on P19, going all the way up to P7. I'm still really happy about it. Made some good overtakes, made some good decisions, and hopefully we can use this to the future. But I say like the race has ended, but this is the last lap of the race actually, and we gained a little bit on Fikri. We gained about a second throughout the previous lap, but this is the last lap, so yeah, Fikri has to do a monumental mistake to let us pass right now. All he has to do is just keep the car on the track, and P6 is his. But yeah, of course, anything can happen on racing. As we round the final corner, braking for the final time again, slowly but surely, we take it pretty nicely right there, and now going across the line as we finish P7. in this race. From all the way back in P19, I think that's a pretty good result. We went up 12 positions. We did some good overtakes, good decisions. So yeah, right there, just saying GG's to the rest of the guys. So yeah, really good result. I'm really proud of it. And well, that's the end of the race. Thank you guys for watching, for uh, supporting, and I guess we'll see you guys next time. And goodbye.